What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rooted in Reptiles. You guys are going to see me in this sweatshirt probably for a few episodes, as well as my vlog from tonight. Tonight's February 9th. The days are blurring together, which is bad, but we'll get there. Short-term memory loss, long days at work. The days turn into nights, the nights turn into days, and we continue on. But in today's episode, we are going to talk about proper skink handling. For those of you guys who have these animals as pets, it's important to know what you're doing with them and how to handle them. You guys will see me with my main guy right here, at least as far as public projects go, my main guy. So this guy is super calm. I mean, he is just willing to hang out. I've gotten him pretty tamed down now. He came from Ray Gurgi. Ray's animals are known to have a lot of vigor. Ray has a lot of animals that are F2s and well, he has parents that are F2s. This guy's an F3 from the wild, so he is very, very close to his illegally smuggled parents from back when Ray first got his, like 29 years ago now. So he is still very, very close to the wild, but with lots of handling, with lots of love, lots of time spent with him. Just as far as cleaning and upkeep goes, we've gotten him to be just a chill animal, an animal that just loves to hang out and is more than willing to be handled. So as far as handling goes, it's pretty easy, pretty simple. We're going to touch a little bit on younger kids, and these animals, they're marketed a lot of times for kids who are 4 and 5, just because of their attitudes being calm and gentle when worked with, and for their manageable size. Northerns are getting right around the 2-foot mark, so 24 inches, so not super big at all. And for just their I don't want to say indestructibility, because nothing's indestructible, but just for their overall toughness as animals. They can take a lot and they can deal with a lot of abuse. Not saying you should abuse them, but for kids, you know, kids don't always know how to be extremely gentle. So having an animal that can kind of handle some of that is going to be good for you guys. So this guy obviously is getting larger. He is not fully grown yet. He's probably around, I would want to guess 20 inches now. So I would expect him to put on some more overall size as far as like weight and body mass and conditioning goes. He's perfectly healthy as is, but he runs a little bit leaner. I have his girlfriend, who is just a fat whale, as I call her. She's got too much booty to handle, but somehow he tamed that booty. Being a lot smaller than she is, just in overall size. So for babies, unfortunately we don't have any babies here yet. They're coming, hopefully. I'm buying babies, so something's definitely coming, but hopefully babies from us is coming. So when you get a baby, it's going to be, I mean, if you guys are able to get them right around the 2-3 week mark, they're going to be small. So I would recommend like a cup method, maybe like a hand over hand, to just kind of keep them from being able to jump out of your hands or run, take off. If you guys are able to sit down with them on a couch or in a chair, I would say put them kind of in your lap or in your arms with a hand on them, to just keep them from being able to jet off and fall. They're going to be more fragile. As babies, obviously, they're way smaller, and their bones haven't gain the strength that comes with growth. So they're going to be more fragile. They're not going to be something that you can't handle at all, but obviously they're smaller, so just take it easy with them. Again, just a hand over hand would be good, or just like a cut method. You just want to keep them from being able to jet off is what I'm really getting at. As they gain size and get around to this mark, this guy, I mean, you can see I have this hand open and he's just hanging out because he is just that awesome and that calm. When you guys buy imports and stuff, you know, they likely aren't going to be this willing to be held. So one thing that should be noted is never grab them by their tails. They can drop their tails. They're not like, say, like a gecko per se, where they're going to drop their tail fairly easily, but they can drop their tails. It happens. They do regrow them. Again, don't look as nice, just like geckos, but they don't just drop them. But you don't want to just pick them up or try and stop them from running by grabbing their tails. Same thing with babies. Again, they're going to be even more flighty as a baby because they haven't had that handling, and so they're going to be more willing to drop their tails as babies. I mean, they're just freaked out. I mean, there's something very big hiding them, and everything inside of them says, oh crap, we gotta get away or we're gonna get eaten. This guy, he's come to know me, I'm sure, over time, and so he's just cool. He's just hanging out. So when they get to this size, I mean, you can see I'm handling him. I shoot my videos a lot of time with him, and times with him just in one hand. When he is wanting to walk, I do like the whole treadmill thing, where I just kind of like let him walk from hand to hand to hand until he settles down, and then he hangs out in a hand. You guys can do like the hand over hand method with them if you're a little bit scared, or I shouldn't say scared, but just worried about them running off or jumping or something like that. If you haven't come to know your animals or animal and aren't completely sure of what they're going to do yet, then that's something that I would definitely say would be a good option. Another option for you guys when handling, see now he wants to start moving, so we might start the whole treadmill thing. But another good option would be, like, I see a lot of guys, they just like kind of snuggle them in their arms and they just like fall asleep, which is cool. I mean, whatever. If you're sitting down, you know, you can just like let them sleep on your lap, or a lot of times they'll cozy up in like the crack of your legs there. When your legs are together, they'll kind of snuggle down in that little crack and just stay warm. They like that warmth of your body heat. So that's another option for handling. A lot of times people with older skinks will just let them kind of free roam their houses, which I mean is cool. You should always be cautious. Don't ever let them free roam if you have cats or dogs or something running around the room. You don't want them to get hurt, and you always want to be sure of where they're going. So don't let them free roam in an area where they have the potential to get lost, or the potential to get into an area where they can't be retrieved under a cabinet or under a heavy object. You definitely want to be able to get your skinks back. Don't let them free roam in an area where they can get in a vent, or where they can get harmed. You guys should always be keeping an eye on them. Again, they are very, very hardy animals. I've seen animals that have been lost for a couple months and then they get found. And they look, I mean, obviously they're thinner, but they make a recovery and they're fine in the end. Definitely not ideal to lose your skink somewhere in your house at any point in time, but again, now we're back to just hanging out in now my right hand. But that's something you guys definitely want to keep an eye on if you want to do that whole free roam thing. I've seen people put skinks in their pockets or in their hoods. I don't know that I would recommend it. I would be a little bit scared of potentially crushing them, like if I were to sit down and forget they were in there, or if if you had them in your hood and they kind of like jumped out, I wouldn't recommend letting them climb on your heads. Some people do it. I mean, I would just be worried or be cautious of them falling off. They have little T-Rex arms, so they're anything but a monitor. Monitors are very good at climbing and very good at jumping and very, very agile, these guys. Their little T-Rex limbs cannot hardly pick them up off the ground, so they just kind of slither around like a snake a lot of times with their little legs. So the whole head climbing thing, they have the potential to fall a lot, which is not good. You don't want them to fall. I've seen skinks that have jumped out of tubs, which is bad. Saw a skink, it was a Tanabar, I believe, that jumped out of a tub and broke its jaw, and the owner got its jaw wired back together, and it made a recovery because they're super hardy animals. But something you want to avoid. You don't want to get into that, if at all possible. Obviously that was out of his control. If you open the tub and the thing just charges you and just jumps for it, try and catch them. Try and do your best to catch them or break their fall. Do something to prevent them from just straight up hitting the floor. That's why when I keep animals in racks like this, always keep your flighty animals at the bottom. Only put animals at the top that you trust and know their attitudes. Again, you can have an off day where the animal might be just something weird going on, but for the most part, your calm animals are going to be calm. Your animals that just hate you are just always going to hate you. It's a fact of life. You can't be loved by everybody or every skink. So again, keep your flighty animals at the bottom. It'll save them from falls if they do decide to charge you. If you guys are keeping your animals in cages, like vision cages or tanks or anything like that, anything with a front door, you have the potential to have them charge. If you have a tank, it's not an issue then, so height doesn't really matter because they can't just jump out of the sides and they really can't climb the glass. If they have a background, I guess they could climb it, but they aren't very arboreal at all. They're very terrestrial animals, so they're not going to really want to have the desire to climb. And animals that do climb have the potential to fall and the potential to harm themselves in falls. I've seen tails that have dropped tails or broken off ends of their tails from falls, from enclosures that have things for them to climb on and fall from, like limbs or anything high, cork bark, rounds, stuff like that. That's okay. If they're climbing on top of a high, that's fine, not a big deal. But when you guys give them things to climb to the top of their cage, and then they climb up there and they're skinks, so again, they don't really know how to get down and they fall, that's where you can run into issues. That's not something you want to do. So skink handling, again, pretty easy. I know there's a lot of older people who are getting skinks that like reptiles. Good idea. A lot of kids, 4 and 5-year-olds who are getting skinks. Again, good idea. I'm 21, almost 22, but I got skinks. So they're great pets for everybody. But handling is something that some people are curious about. So again, it's super easy. Your imports, take your time, let them get to know you, let them begin to build some form of trust with you. Don't just start trying to handle an import right away all the time. Give an import animal time to settle. Even captive bred animals, just give them time to settle. Captive bred animals obviously are going to be way easier going by nature because they've known people since they were born. But still, I mean, they've been shipped, but nothing like an import animal that's taken from the wild, shipped to some location in wherever they're coming from, and then shipped overseas to an importer, and then shipped from the importer to you. So they have a much more traumatic history, and so they are definitely not going to want to trust people right away. So just give them time to settle. That's the main thing. And then slowly begin to work your way into it. Over time, they'll get to know you, they'll get to trust you, and you'll have animals just like this. there are the possibilities that they'll never like you, but hopefully we can avoid that. So that's just this episode, guys. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Gives you guys a few ideas and options of how to hold and how to handle blue-tongue skinks. Again, we're back to the treadmill. He must think that he can go into some form of a forest in my sweatshirt. But again, when your brain is the size of a pea, you don't really know what's going on in life. So I hope you guys all enjoyed. I know I did. I know that this guy did. He loves to be out and he loves to explore. So I hope that helped everyone who's going to be a first-time skink buyer or who's just had questions on how they can handle their skink or how they can ease their way into handling their skink. So hopefully that is a little bit of help for everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed. I am vlogging, so if you guys haven't taken the time to check those out, please go ahead and check those out. They are awesome. They are a lot of behind the scenes. You'll see a lot of things that just go on in my day-to-day life. Doing unboxings, just talking to different people. It's basically just my journey to becoming a full-time reptile breeder as a young adult. 21, I'll be 22 here in March, so we're working on it. I work full-time right now, but we're pushing for the dream, we're pushing for my dream of becoming a full-time reptile breeder. That's what I want in life, and that's what I'm going for. So it's basically my journey, and it just documents it, and everything from buying houses to shopping for animals to getting animals shipped in to setting up reptile rooms and projects and successes and failures. It's just everything. So it's a really cool story to follow, at least I think so, and I'm enjoying doing them, and I hope everyone else is too. So I hope everyone's having a good day, good night. I don't know when I'll release this, but whenever it is, I hope life's going good. You guys have a lot to be thankful for. We live in a place where we can buy these awesome animals and own them as pets. I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. Ask that you share it. Tell everyone you know about the series. It's going to be awesome. The vlogs are awesome. It's an epic journey, an epic tale, and something that a lot of people are telling me that I can't do, but I'm going for it anyway. And I hope everyone's just enjoying life. And as always, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, guys.